Super Mario Party Jamboree is just about a month away, and I am very excited about it. But I feel like everyone is gassing this game up a little too much. So in this video, I wanted to take a slightly different perspective. You see, I'm also a little worried about this game, so today I want to talk about 3 things that concern me, and just so this video isn't just all complaining, I'll throw in 3 things that excite me about the game as well. I also want to let you know that I am hosting a month-long charity event. I will be doing live streams for it, we have artists doing commissions for it, and there will be a month-long Garfield art prompt challenge, kind of like Inktober to go with it. There's going to be a lot more information about this in the description and the pinned comment, so go check that out if you're interested and want to support breast cancer research. Also, if you want more videos like this, then subscribe, because if you don't, you might never see me again. Whew. That was enough shilling for one video, let's get into it. My biggest worry when it comes to Jamboree is the economy. And yes, I know I probably sound like a complete dork talking about the Mario Party economy, but hear me out here. My biggest issue with Superstars was that it is too easy to get way too much money. Hidden blocks feel more common than most other games they're in. Lucky spaces are abundant and can give you upwards of 20 coins. You get money for getting second and third in minigames, double coin minigames every 5 turns, which, if you get specific minigames, can get you over 60 coins in 1 turn. There's just a lot more ways to get a lot more money in the newer Mario parties that didn't really exist before. Which in itself could be fine, but I think the problem lies that, well, nothing else really went up in price. Most things went down in price. This problem was a lot worse in Super, where you still got absurd amounts of money, but for some reason, stars were 10 coins, stealing stars was 30, and pretty much everything in the item shop was cheaper. Superstars, for the most part, reverted prices back to be more in line with classic Mario Party, but kept all of that extra influx cash. So when we get to Jamboree and take a look at the new overview trailer, it's pretty disappointing to see that there are still a lot of lucky spaces, and in the few clips where we can see players' money and turn counts, they have outrageous amounts of coins. Like, genuinely, what could have happened here that in 5 turns, last place has 70 coins? And it's not just this one screenshot either. This has been a pretty consistent issue for me personally with all the Switch Mario parties, and it seems like this is the direction they want to stay with. I don't think this decision is terrible, as at the end of the day, Mario Party has always been about finding a balance between skill and strategy and luck and bullshit. All inflating the economy really does is tip the scale closer to the luck side of things. If it's easier to get money by landing on random spaces and losing mini games, then that just kind of throws players falling behind a bigger bone than they used to. Which might not be the worst decision overall, but for someone who's a fan of the older Mario parties, I don't like it. On the positive side of things, I do think the addition of unlucky spaces is cool, even if I can't seem to find a lot of them on these boards. I think having more threatening spaces on the board makes for more interesting dynamics. Considering red spaces hardly feel like much of a loss with all the extra coins you get, and the fact that you can get a bonus star for landing on them. And Bowser spaces can genuinely be good if you're looking for Revolution, Shuffle, or a Bowser minigame to drain your opponent's resources. It is cool to have a space that will hopefully be unambiguously bad to land on. I'm hoping, based on how rare these seem to be, that they will be really devastating. But then again, the unlucky spaces from Super Mario Party were pretty tame. Another implementation that I think would work well and makes sense why we don't see a lot of them in the trailer is if landing on a lucky space turns that specific space into an unlucky space. Kind of like how Bowser and DK spaces worked in Mario Party 8, this would help with the amount of lucky spaces while making the boards feel a little more dynamic. I don't think this is how they will do it, but I think it would make for a really cool addition if they did. Anyways, back to the negatives. As a certified hater of Super Mario Party, I'm a little hesitant about the ally mechanic returning. The ally mechanic in Super Mario Party is really busted. Allies let you snowball the game so hard since you get to roll way more per turn and get assistance in multiple minigames and get so many bonus stars that are directly attached to them. Now, to be fair, to make this point simultaneously a positive, it seems like they've done a lot to overhaul this system. Instead of landing on ally spaces or picking up allies randomly from the board, it seems like something will trigger a special ally minigame that awards the winner with that specific ally. This already makes it so much better as it adds a skill component to recruiting allies. This would potentially also limit the amount of allies on the board, which would really help stop the whole snowballing issue. I don't know if they've confirmed what triggers this anywhere, but it seems like it may be replacing the double coin minigames for every 5th turn, as it looks like Mario is recruiting Yoshi at the beginning of turn 6. And allies don't seem to affect your role anymore, but rather provide a specific ability unique to that ally. The ability for allies to buy stars and items seems really strong, and is potentially one of the biggest red flags about the new system. If one person can get an ally every 5 turns, then it just gives the player who recruited that ally such a huge advantage. Like with how many coins you can get in this game, it doesn't seem too unlikely to be in a scenario where you can easily dump 90 coins at the end of the game for 2 gold pipes to get 4 stars. I think at the end of the day, whether this overhaul of the ally system works for me will be how variable the abilities are. Like in Super Mario Party, there were objectively better dice than others, so certain allies provided much more value than others. It's hard to balance a game and make each individual ability equally valuable, but I just hope that the power variance isn't super wide. The 2 they showed seemed okay. Copying an item, probably from someone you pass, they don't specify, would be pretty situational in 3 turns, especially with how many items can let opponents avoid you. And while DK's is not clear if he sends you to a random spot, that would essentially be a warp pipe. Or if he sends you like consistently forward, that could also be situational if he can send you past shops or items. I don't know. Overall, the system does look much better, and my main reason that it worries me is just how badly it was implemented in Super. My final negative is a bit of a nitpick, but I think a fairly important one. The board movement in this game looks slower than Superstars. I can't tell if the movement is actually slower or roughly the same, but the spaces are just way more spread apart. I think one of Superstar's underrated strengths is just how fast the board animations can be. I mean, think about it, with how long games of Mario Party already are, even just moving slightly faster on the board can really add up. It would be cool if the game had options for this kind of thing, because in Superstars, the player movements, while fast, pale in comparison to the CPU movements. And it would be cool if there was a toggle in game to allow you to make everyone that speed. I have a personalized copy of Mario Party 5 that speeds up board movement and item animations, and the difference is monumental. With sped up animations, you can genuinely cut 2 hours off of a 50-turn game. That is not an exaggeration. Again, this isn't something that will directly impact the quality of the game. There are still good Mario parties with slow animations, but I think being faster on the board can really only be a good thing, especially as this game gets older and everyone's already seen the boards and the animations for years. Shaving any amount of time off of an already long game of Mario Party will make people much more likely to want to keep playing years down the line. And for one final good thing to wrap things up, I am excited to have so many new items and characters. In terms of characters, the roster is pretty similar to Super, but unlike that game, this one looks good. But seriously, Superstar's roster is bad. The fun part about these Mario spin-offs is getting to play as all these weird little guys. We get to see these characters all the time, so give us the goofballs when it's time to party. Also, as a Toadette truther, finally, I can kind of understand removing Toadette in Super Mario Party, but Toad? He's been a mainstay since Mario Party 5! He is a main Mario character! I think Super and Superstars genuinely have to be some of the only Mario spin-offs in the past 20 years to not have Toad playable. Why did that not only happen, but continue to happen? Whatever. They're back. And items. I think Superstars had a great set of items, but that was only because they just copied all of the items from the old games. There's some new rare items in that game, like the double star card, but you barely ever see those. For the most part, the items were fun because they copied fun items. In Jamboree, it's cool to see some new items here. This double price sticker seems like a fun idea in terms of denying people shop and star access. This item also seems crucial to denying people double stars with their allies. 5 coins seems pretty cheap for something that powerful, but then again, everything in this game is cheap, so like, what are you gonna do? I really hope this item can stack and someone can get hit with ×8 prices, because that would be peak Mario Party. They also have a warp pipe, which despite being in multiple previous games and doing multiple different things, seems to function completely differently here. I think this is the first time there has been an item that will put you on a random space just by using it, which again can lead to some really fun Hail Mary plays, which is great. Super had some new items, but they were all pretty bland or functioned like previous items. Seeing actual genuine new ideas here is exciting and should hopefully add a lot more dynamics to the game. So that's my list. 3 things that worry me: the economy, the ally mechanic, and the animation speed, and 3 things that excite me: unlucky spaces, the ally mechanic again, and new items and roster. Overall, I think this game is shaping up to be a great Mario Party. I just really hope some of the modern issues that have haunted the other Switch titles won't be as prevalent here. If you want to hear me talk more about Mario Party, I have this video where I rank every mainline game in the series. I'll link it in the end card. Also, remember to check below for more info on the upcoming charity event, and make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I plan on binging this game when it comes out to make a huge video about it, so look forward to that.